Evil in this world, I sit back like, why bother? But get a different view every time that I call dollar. It's like Numi got the Uzi, man, she always speaking facts. She be dropping bombs, make all of them double back. Then the crime raises. It's something they never gonna get that. But it's cool, let's sit back and chit.
You gotta be stoic, you can't be frail. If you stay on the track, you can't derail. If you stick around long enough,
you will surely be unveiled. Welcome back to part 2. If you guys have not watched part 1 of this episode or this session here, make sure you guys pause this right here. We'll put the link to that video down below. So watch it so you can catch up. But yeah, no, we're
and the general guesses too. Aisha said more kind of we're gonna leave their
information down below. So all right, let's say no more. Let's get right back into the topic. I came when I was 6. I lived in New York for a year, and when I first came here, I was my 2 younger cousins. We all kind of lived. My siblings came first, so they all kind of like lived with us and stuff, and we lived together. I came and we were still kind of living together, but then at some point they moved. And then eventually we moved to Connecticut. And I think so there's a huge like age gap between me and like my siblings. I think my closest brother is like 6 years older. And then 10 years older and then 12 years older. So they were all kind of like always doing their own thing. Yeah. And so eventually getting into Connecticut, I was able to like meet other people like around my age and stuff like that, because even the closest sibling to me is a guy, so like other like girls and stuff around my age, and like different family members and whatnot, and spend time.
So you did all like your middle school times in like Connecticut?
Yeah, I did from I started elementary school to then up. But so like for me, like in my elementary school and then even middle school and stuff like that, up until high school, I didn't really have like a lot of African or like Guinean people in my schools. So like I didn't go to the schools that they went to. So I wasn't like even in terms of like the age group, they all kind of like around the same, closer in age. And then there were like younger ones too. So I think eventually when I got to high school, was when it was really good. And like I was able to meet a lot of like African people our age and like gain that confidence of like being African. But the entire time, like it's always been like something that's very prideful, right? Like I remember in middle school, there was this one Guinean girl, actually, she had just came to the US, and like, we were in class and like somebody was mentioning like, oh, you're African, da da da. And like, she mentioned like, oh no, I'm from France. But like, I saw your family at the Guinean society meeting. Like your parents were definitely there. Like you're from Guinea, but
there used to be those people,
trying to kind of like, yeah, exactly. And so it was definitely a transition in terms of stress. I don't know why, but for like the first like year or two when I first got here, I thought I was in a dream. I don't know if anyone else experienced that. I thought I was in a dream. Like I thought I was still in Abidjan, because I lived in Abidjan from like, I was born here, went there, and then lived there until I moved back here. So I literally thought
in shock.
I was in a dream. I used to think in my head, I literally used to think that like I'm gonna wake up, like it's not like a real thing. Because my mom used to be out, and then it would just be me. My brother would be playing video games. My older 2 siblings will be out in school, and so it's just me and my brother, or like my mom kind of in the background. It's just me with these toys. It's quiet in the house, and it's just like
lonely.
I'm lonely. And and then I used to follow my mom around everywhere at that point. Like she and I got very close, but I thought it was in a dream for like the first 2 years.
I never thought I would get tired of playing video games until I came to America.
That's a fact,
bro. You will play all day, bro. Especially during the winter, because I came during the winter time, bro. You can't go outside like that.
You can't do nothing.
It'd be too cold. And bro, I'm like, bro, it's like, can you follow it? It's solid, bro. It's like
I used to get mad at my cousins that like were born in, they also live there. Like whenever I want to go outside, like man, nah, it's too cold. I'm like, bro, let's go outside. Like let's go play soccer or something. Even today, like even to this day, like that's why he fat. Like he doesn't like going outside, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't like going outside because he's like he just like playing video game. Like bro, Remember the summer, I be outside by myself all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go outside. It give you that clarity, bro.
Yeah, like the sun,
Just,
you gotta.
let the sun hit you,
like.
but get that vitamin D. Pause, but
Oh.
nah, but you know.
Go ahead.
But go ahead.
You know what's crazy? Like, you know how y'all had that culture shock when y'all came here?
Yeah.
So when I was 14, it was my first time going back to Guinea with my parents. That's how I felt when I was there. At 14.
Natural
Because
habitat.
keep in mind, I came here when I was 4. So for me, I was like
Pretty much here,
still,
yo.
And then
like,
you wasn't
know what
even
I mean?
Guinea. Oh,
Exactly. I wasn't Guinea. We were in
But
Guinea.
she don't remember. She's
Yeah.
I was
I mean,
4.
like-
I briefly remember stuff, but like, you know what I mean? A lot of that memory is literally a blur, half of it. But so for me, like when I first went back, I was like 14. We went back for the summer. And I got there, everybody touching me. I'm looking like,
hey, yo.
What do you mean touching you?
like, you know, like
The
thing about
Messiah.
our cultures, like our culture, they love to
Yeah, they
touch.
love touching.
They love.
You would
they're
see
very
man touching like hands. And you
holding
think it's
hands
gay,
type
it's
of
not.
thing, right? So like, there's no actual like physical boundaries a lot of the time. They don't really do boundaries. Let's say in Guinea, right?
Okay.
And it's not to say like they're just. It's just a cultural thing, right? And for me, I'm like, why? I'm looking at my mom like, why does your sister keep touching me? Like, you know, because she's like, oh my God, your skin is so nice. You have such a nice.
Why would she lie like that?
First of
Come
all,
on, man.
I'm gonna beat him up. Soon as the camera
I'm weak.
like, you know, and she was like doing all that stuff, and I'm like already like I'm uncomfortable because it's like you keep touching me, and I like, you know, here like you don't just go around touching people. That's one. But I know it's love, but it's just like it's weird for me, right?
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's in my face. Everybody want to be buddy, and it's like, and then there's like the aunts and uncles like, you remember me?
Yeah.
No. Who are you?
There'll be people just like how MDG say you put people 24/7. Like they would not leave you alone. Like,
you know, and then they expect like gifts right away. Whether you remember them, they expect something.
Actually, they don't have.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand that, but you see a 14-year-old and you're expecting them. Like there's this automatic entitlement that I learned at 14 that people have, and it's like I don't hold it against them because again it's that cultural mentality, right?
Right.
It's not to be disrespectful to anybody. It's just that's the cultural mentality.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was like, bro, I cried. I called AB so quick. I was like, you need to come get me out of here. I want to go home. But again, 14, don't know anything. Don't know anybody. I don't know none of my cousins. So like for me, it's like,
yeah.
All right, bro.
Who am I playing with?
But let's be honest. Let's keep it musty, right? Like,
musty.
No, let's keep it musty. You know, as a Guinean, you know, it's a must that you learn about your culture. That's a fact.
It is a
must.
So
you going back at 14, like, you know, it was a culture shock, but did you learn anything?
I learned a lot. I feel like I learned a lot. I actually gained a lot of confidence being there at 14.
Okay.
And I felt so much more at peace before I left than when I first got there. And it was just like when I came back, I was just like so confident in myself and who I was before I left to go there. I don't know what it was. I think it's because the kids there are so free.
Yeah.
And they don't care. Right? They don't care.
We
and
outside.
when you get to Africa, the idea of like, you know, earlier when you were saying that, you know, when you came here, like it was a shock for you because of all those things that you experienced and then you had to have a plan. In Africa, we don't care. If shit don't work out, it just don't work out.
It don't work out. You just
And
live.
you have family.
You
and
know what I
things
mean?
To,
And there's
like family together.
it don't work out. You go to your neighbor's house, they're gonna feed you.
yeah.
You feel me? In
That's
the US,
true. It's a community.
you
Yeah,
not
community,
exactly.
very
like,
community
you
based.
can't rely on nothing like the government.
Yeah.
There's
There's no community.
Okay.
You kind of have to create it.
So can I pivot into this right quick?
Yeah.
So do you think with all of that, all of those experiences and all of that, and also back home, the things that we deal with, do you feel like therapy is necessary and more?
Yes.
And you think the same
think
thing?
so.
Yes.
You
Yes.
understand? Me, I'm on the opposite side. But I'm gonna let you guys go in first. Or should I go? Y'all want
No,
me
you
to
go first. I want to hear what you said.
This is the reason why I say it's not necessary, right? Like, my teacher says something, right? It's not in every case or whatever. He say, well, if you don't know, it doesn't hurt, right?
Right.
Okay, so my reasoning for that is, all right, like, you know, you just said that people back home, before you came, you know, you felt at peace, right? Because those kids, they live free, right? They were caring, they're loving, they show all of these, like, affection, they were touching you, they were damn near, like, praising you, you know? So what I'm saying is, like, if you bring therapy back home and you tell these people that, oh, look, even though you're smiling, you know, you're jumping around, you're happy with nothing, you shouldn't be okay with that. Something is wrong. You're going through trauma. So I want you to sit back and look at your environment and say, this is not okay. And say that, okay, I need therapy for my experience where they're not like, but based on their situation, they're not going through no trauma, because you just said that you felt at peace before you left. You know, you mentioned that they live free, right? They're happy with nothing. So if it's not like if something is not broken,
don't fix it.
Yeah. So why would you bring therapy to let people know, like make people think that something is wrong with them, and then subconsciously they start thinking, "Oh, something is wrong with me. This is not right." You know. So that's the reason.
I agree with you. The reason why I say that, because it's not in our culture. So if you bring it probably derail us from our culture and our
things
religion.
that we rely on, because religion is the
I agree with that.
main thing that we rely on. You know, whatever, and Guinea.
Hold on.
And culture. So
from what I'm hearing, when you're saying like, okay, don't break nothing that's not, or don't like broken, fixing something. If it's not broken, it doesn't need to be fixed. So then you're essentially saying that, like, say like someone who thinks they're in bliss, if they're having to go through a therapy session, and then, you know, they somehow then unveil like something that's actually traumatic to them that they may not have consciously realized was impacting them today, because they're not focusing on it, then their focus will shift on like magnifying, like, okay, here's the issue that's wrong. Is that
because I'm saying, like, yes,
assuming there's an issue, right? That's
like,
not even assuming.
Our issue is not necessarily our culture play a part of it, big part. But our problem is like we're not advanced, right? And we don't have all the technology, we don't have like the education, all that, in order for us to like compete with other countries or whatever, right? That's the main issue. Does culture and religion have something to do with it? Yes, right, but that can be fixed without involving therapy. That can be how to better yourself, how to bring about more education, how to bring more information, how to build the society to a point where, like, yo, this is your religion, this is your culture, but you need to apply yourself, you know, put action behind, you know, your thoughts, and then apply yourself and manifest your reality into, you know, creating a system that's competing with the modern or the Western world or whatever. So I don't think therapy have anything. Bringing therapy is just gonna take the core base and the foundation of what they live on and what they strive, like what help them strive, which is like their religion and culture. To change their mind or change the frame, to, you know, have them look at life in a different perspective, where like they can advance the community and the education system. That's completely different from like bringing therapy. That's why I feel like it's not important.
Okay, I want to hear what she has to say about this.
So I want to say trigger warning first before I say what I'm gonna say. Right?
Trigger
warning to everyone. And I say that because I'm gonna talk about the rape culture. Right? Yeah. You have a lot of women in different parts of Africa. We're not gonna just say Guinea that are sexually assaulted by different people. Sometimes
that's a fact.
It be church members, sometimes it's mosque
family
members, uncles, whoever, aunts. Sometimes, you know, you have these things that happen, and some of these women harbor it for eternity, for their whole life, and then it moves on and it happens to their kid, and they also cover that up. And then it happens to the next generation, and they also cover it up. And then next thing we're calling is a generational curse. When that's just, that trauma happened, that's a big part. And we could have stopped it right there.
Could have been fixed
with therapy. We could have talked about it. We could have told you that you deserve better. We could have told you that should have never happened to you. You were a child. You know what I mean? We could have told you were not the adult in power. So many things. And we could have also told you your parents were wrong for not supporting you. Right?
Yeah.
But we don't have that because there is no therapy, and a lot of the times it is not handled the way it's supposed to be handled. Right? So when I say therapy is needed, there's a lot of things in our culture. Yes, we may not need it for, like, let's say happiness or whatever the case is, right? But because we do have trauma that still exists, therapy is needed. It's needed and it's necessary, because there's people that's going through stuff that they cannot speak about.
Because anything like as big as this topic is, like it will have a pros and cons. Like,
for sure,
no matter how you put it, like it could go both ways. Like just like how you say I agree with that, and what Aisha say I also agree with that. Because there's a lot of women, there's a lot in Africa that's going through these like type of stuff where like it is told to them to like you can't speak about it. So imagine if there were therapy, they would be able to open up with these stuff and they can stop a lot of these like, you know, assaults.
And I think even in terms of like just confidence in other things, right? Like we've talked about the whole selfish versus selfless. If you haven't listened to it, tune into episode 2.
Yep.
Where, you know, you have to kind of like gain that confidence to stand on your own, to shake, you know, any kind of like generational weight or, you know, people's weight and expectation off of you in order to strive. And even in your experience that you mentioned, like with having to deal with going to school for 2 years, that every single day was like you didn't like it, you were uncomfortable, it made you sick. Like, you know, and then, you know, this fear of like this inevitable future of doing that for the rest of your life, you know, causing you stress. So like, I feel like even being able to have the confidence, right? Like when I made a career, when I was, you know, about to make a career change, it was something that I was very afraid of and I was nervous about. And like, I knew that I wanted like a certain type of like work-life balance and things like that. But I felt like, you know, for a long time, I felt like that's where I needed to be. And that was the future for me. And so when I had that change of like thought, it no longer aligned to like what I had been identifying myself as, like that's my future. So it was it was like, you know, uncertain times. And I think like had it not been because of like gaining confidence and understanding that like, you know, at the end of the day, like what you feel like is enough for you, it's valid for you, right? And you don't have to say anything about that, is what allowed me and gave me the push and the confidence to go elsewhere. So I think growing up there, even to outside of that, like even just confidence of to be successful, right? Like, hey, it's not your fault that when you get paid, you want to take money and save it. And you know, you can give a little bit to people so long as it doesn't like suffocate you every single time. You know?
Yeah. I have a question for you. Like, although like you had a lot of experience, you learned a lot of stuff there, right? You're grateful for this stuff. But like, were there a subconscious like in your mind that, you know, when you made a switch that said that like maybe I should have made that switch like earlier, like maybe I should have made a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think once I made it, it was like, and once I was on the other side, it was like, oh,
maybe this should have been like way earlier than
that. Was easy,
right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why
that was crazy.
No, yeah. I mean, I agree.
You know,
yeah.
So like, you know, there's always like nuance to these, like, you know, type of topics.
Granted, like the experience that I gained throughout all of those years is what I think really allowed me to be where I am right now, and it's extremely valuable. So like, it, you know, on one end, it's kind of like, oh, maybe leaving early, I would have had a better like work-life balance earlier. However, you know, the way my experience would have been limited, the people that I've worked with, it would have been limited, you know? So, you know,
So I mean, everything worked out perfectly, you know, there's a reason for every step, you know, like whether it's good or bad, but it leads to something great eventually, you know, hopefully. So damn, I lost my train of thought.
What do you say about that? About what we just mentioned, and then like what
say,
therapy
that's
will kind of
trying
come
to
in
get
and
into
help
right now. So I was saying there's more nuance than that, right? Because it's not easy, right? Nobody got a 100% like fixed solution for these type of problems, right? For these, what she's saying is true, because I know people that went through that, right? And it's not easy, right? So, but like, again, we're talking about a country, so we're trying to we're talking about the mass, the general, right? Because if I'm not saying don't focus on the small things, because those matters too, but I'm saying like, you know, if we want to bring about therapy, then it have to be completely different. It have to be something different, because like I feel like the general mindset in Guinea is good in certain aspect, and certain aspect is not good, right? Meaning like we stay firm on our culture, and religion also play a part of that, right? And that's the reason why we can talk about our experience going through like anxiety or whatever, or coming to a whole different country, and then still being who we are today. We're still firm. We know our culture. We're strong. Not saying our culture is perfect, but it brings like strength, right? That's why I say, you know, you gotta be stoic. You can't be frail, because you gotta be strong no matter what. So now she mentioned, you know, the RIAPE culture, right? Which is true, because it happened with, you know, girls, it happen with guys too, right?
Yeah,
so, but like, you know, to us, like, it's not a big deal if it happened to guys. A lot of girls, like, they're scared to talk about it because family, don't bring that around us, or don't put a bad name on the family, right? Like, I know that they go through a lot, but it's also a situation where they like girls that go through these type of issues are also able to open up to their parents. There's issues like that, but it's more on where they can't open up to where they can open up. So I agree with that. So me, like, if we can bring some type of solution to fix that, where, you know, there's like a program for those type of situation, so where somebody can go in there, you know, and try to talk to me. I agree with that. But in general, I don't think it should just be like therapy for everything. You get what I'm saying?
Right. But and that's the thing. Like, for us, we don't, like, it's not therapy for every and anyone. It's those type of situations is if you want that therapy, you can come and deal with that therapy, right? So when I talk about therapy, I'm talking about the diagnosed part of it, right? I'm talking about, and that's not even just therapy, I'm talking about mental health overall, right? I think mental health is needed in Guinea. That's my thing. I think it's needed in Guinea. I don't care how far we get in life, we need to have mental health in Guinea. As far as therapy is not for everyone, and that's okay. And yes, Guinea, like, we are a hopeful bunch of human beings. We're very hopeful, and religion plays a huge part of that. It does, and that's not a bad thing, right? That's not a bad thing, but at the same time, we still have to educate ourselves.
For sure.
And also, like, it's so detrimental to our country that a lot of these mentally, like, ill people are running our country. That's a big point. I'm telling you, bro.
You think,
like, bro, listen, I'm telling you what.
I want to know what he mean by that. Like,
bro, that's a story. I don't know. I'm kind of like little derailing, but I gotta tell you guys. You know how, like, the depot thing that just, like, blow up, like the gas thing, right? Like, people think, like, that's the cause. Like, people think, like, how, like, you know, people, like, we're going through these, like, gas drop. That's, like, there's a big story behind that like, people even don't know. So, like, you know, when, you know, Dumbuya, he came to power, like, in September 2021, like, so, you know, when he came to power, he want to do, like, cleaning and stuff, like, you know, like, so
fix the roads and all that.
So have you ever heard of SONAP? SONAP is like a Société Nationale de Pétrole, so it's like a company that's go in the world market to find us, like, good deals of gas, right? So before,
I heard,
so before he came, right? I'm not gonna lie, like, we have one of the best deal as a country that we have had so far. Before he came, and it was through a Russian gas company,
remember.
Right? So we were paying like $30 per tons of gas, right? So when he came, like, he started, like, firing people. And then he made this guy from Texas, like Amadou Doumbouya. He was like the Director General of SONAP. So, you know, like, I'm so you in business. For example, like, if you want to do negotiation, like, you always want to negotiate, like, lower, like, prices if you buying stuff, right? So for some reason, they'll come up with these paperwork that don't even make sense. For some reason, they took the contract away from the Russian company. And then they give it to this Nigerian company called Sahara Group.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
And the crazy thing is, this Sahara Group company never dealt with gas before. It's a trader company. Like, it's like some of these stuff, it can be explained. Like, so they give it to them. So they came up with, like, a negotiation paperwork. We went from paying $30 a ton from gas to 53, almost 15%, like, increase, right?
Wow.
And then in 3 weeks' time, they came up with a different negotiation paperwork, saying that from 53 now they're going to $115.
What?
Let me finish.
Bro, it's so crazy. Like, it's like it can't even be explained.
That don't make
so sense. Then, like Guinea, like, we consume like 60 to 70,000 like tons of gas per month. This Sahara Group, like, for example, like, you in real estate, right? That's like instead of you going to a realtor to sell your house, you come to me. I have no, like, experience. It's like like that in between, man. Like, instead of you pocketing that money, the Sahara Group, they make 10.7 million every month on us. Just like going and finding gas for us.
Like, so, sourcing.
And this guy, that's like this, like, you know, Amadou Doumbouya guy, he's the Director National, whatever. So the way SONAP make their money, they tax at the pump. So like 20,000 francs per liter at the pump. So he came up with a different paperwork. Went from 1,000 francs to 150. Like almost 750% increase. So guess, listen to the best part, right? Guess how much money this guy make a year?
What?
He makes $60,000 a year. He's the director general. But listen to this, right? That's almost like 5,000 gross per month. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he became the director general of Sonap in like end of 2021. End of 2022, this guy bought a house in Texas for $1.3 million.
Yeah, obviously we know.
In 12 months, right? In 12 months. For him to be able to afford a house, he would have to work there for 10 plus years, making $60K a year.
Oh.
It's like, and when I tell you,
there's
bro,
money
like
coming in from other.
Yeah, so for all those like fake like paperwork, like from going from paying $30 to $150.
So
these guys are mentally ill, bro.
getting
Like,
cut.
and they run our country. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so I agree with that. That's
Corrupt, because I also
Corruption.
want to make sure that people take accountability for what people say or for what people do, because there's one aspect of it that could be like you're just a corrupt human being versus there's something that's actually wrong with you. And I feel like we should, if something's wrong, then that's on one end. But people, if someone is corrupt, they need to take responsibility, like for those actions and be held accountable.
Yeah, I think it's more of like corruption than mental illness, and that's a bad business deal. That don't even make any sense.
bro, I don't.
But like just to play a devil advocate, somebody would say, well, he's doing it with like his fellow Africans, because it's the Nigerians that's doing it, right? Like, so, somebody can say that, but the business deal is so bad.
Do it with somebody that know how to deal with gas. But the trader group, they making free money off us.
No, for sure. Like, I'm saying that the deal was so bad that, you can't even say, yo, you're working with your own people, because it doesn't make any sense. So from that aspect, I understand that. But I don't think it's mental illness. I think it's just being selfish and being corrupt. That's what it is,
But look, if you bring therapy and tell these people it's not about you. But look, listen. It's not about you. It's about the country. Maybe they understand.
You think therapy gonna work for? It is not gonna work for corruption. Like there's nothing wrong with them. Listen, if I'm if I'm coming in, making my paper and leaving, I'm not mentally ill, because I should say people go through depression and stress where they don't have any income or any money. They making money. They straight. They paper straight too. But that's corruption.
I'm gonna lie, bro. Like,
that's sad,
bro. Like I was watching the episode, like when you're in cabinet, when you're talking about like, bro. You know what I mean, bro? You know how passionate I'm about Guinea, bro. Like I get into it with the aunties on Clubhouse all the time. Bro, but they probably no hope for us. Like when Cabinet was saying maybe our kids or our kids, but like the fight starts right now, because our fathers and our grandfather was saying the same thing.
Same thing, yeah, for
you
sure.
get what I'm saying? Like, we gotta get our country away from these blood sucking vampires, bro. Like,
you can't go back next year. But look, what I'm saying, we're not into this.
He's saying.
I was quiet.
Freedom of speech.
Everybody
in America,
bro.
I was quiet the whole time. Don't get me started on the freedom of speech.
This is not an unveiled mindset thought.
Don't get me started on the freedom of speech.
Am I? Do I align with his idea? I think the fuck not. Nah, but yeah, I understand that's crazy though. But I think therapy is not necessary for that. They just need to be in front of a judge and then whatever, but
and be held accountable.
Yeah, accountable. But so like back on what with the therapy stuff or whatever. So like again, I'm gonna stay firm on what I believe. Yeah. And because me, for example, Mo and I probably think the same when it comes to therapy. I feel like I don't need to go to go through therapy. Like I don't need to go to therapy.
I feel like Mo's probably more open.
No. More probably more close. More close than me.
When we first all first met, like I used to talk to Aisha a lot, bro. I'm telling you, I used to get in trouble. I used to get in trouble in college for not going to therapy. Like, bro, I'm like, bro, why would I go sit there and talk to
I know, but he's saying it shifted. Like now he's more open.
When I started talking to Aisha, the stuff that I was going through, like not being able to play pro, like stuff like that. Yeah. Like when I was bro, I felt better. Like I started feeling like, you know, what I'm saying?
So would you go to therapy?
I'm not accepting any clients right now. By the way.
So would you go to therapy? But the funny thing is, I said y'all became friends though.
Yeah, but
I know, but she's a therapist.
This is way before, like when we first opened Clubhouse.
Yeah, but
out of nowhere, he called me one day. We weren't like close at all.
But that's how friendship even get built.
But I think it's also different because he didn't go talk to Unsu and then feel like, oh, I'm so enlightened.
Because he could talk to you.
Because Unsu was barely in there.
No, but he could have talked to you. But my point is, like, the reason he's saying like she's also a therapist.
But I'm saying, I should be a therapist. Like, I think I would go. Like,
so would you go to? Yeah, so you would go to therapy.
I would.
Okay, would you go to therapy?
Of course.
Okay, I would go to therapy.
I'm not going to therapy.
So
also, would you go to therapy?
Yes.
Oh, you said
yes.
You go to therapy?
You lost it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Let me tell y'all. When you first begin therapy,
you know, because here's the thing. We talk about that like it's not that something is wrong with you. You need to. It's that like. The same way you may go to the gym for certain reasons.
Gym is therapeutic.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Or like even self-reflection. There's definitely different forms of like therapeutic kind of situations. You don't even need to go and speak to someone.
Yo, what's
problem? Ask him first.
Wait.
Ask him.
That's what I call him for.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mo, right? We're all here talking right now. We're in the middle of the podcast. So I'm saying like I'm not going to therapy, right?
Everyone else said that they would.
No, again.
Just ask him his opinion.
No, I don't want you to shape his
No, he got to say he's not going. That's fine. It's fine. You can say
you're not going. So Mo, would you go to therapy or not?
Fuck no.
What do you think I'm
Yeah, that nigga will go, bro.
He not. I'm not molded. I'm not trying to mold anything because I know his answer.
Bro, me in different conditions though, like I have to connect with like, cause I feel like when I like with Aisha, like I connected with her, like when I used to tell her about like my problem and stuff.
Hey, listen, Mike, and the camera. I'm looking at you, camera. Listen, bro. God put people through trials and tribulations for a reason, so you can figure out your problems and go through it. Somebody else, the person you're gonna be venting to, the person you're gonna be crying to, they're going through their own problem. They can't fucking help you, nigga.
No, that's a fact. It's not about them helping you.
They can't do shit for you. You gotta go figure out your own problems, your own self. That's how you're gonna be a woman that you're gonna become, and God wants you to be, or the man that you're gonna become, and God wants you to be. You feel me? You gotta man up, bro. You gotta go through your own problems.
Man up. Woman's gotta woman up.
MDG. So I guess Antu's gonna be the woman he's gonna become, because he said he going to therapy.
Yeah, that shit is kebab. They're just going to sit there, listen to your problem, take your money, and laugh at you when you leave. Look at this dumbass nigga.
That's not the point though. That's not the point though. Like
the thing is, I definitely think that like on one end we talk about how like, oh, the country, believes in like, oh, something happened to this person, right? And say that like, oh, it's because they're possessed, right? Which you think that that's not the case and that it may be something greater. Mm-hmm. And then on the other end, it's kind of like, no, we don't need therapy. So like it kind of we need to.
No, it's not the same.
I used to think like this before. I swear to God.
No, but more, it's not the same. I give a whole again. Then I didn't know I mentioned culture and religion. We have a community base in Guinea, right? Mm-hmm. So therapy. You say therapy. We already have a support system, right? Right. It's different where it's like when you're trying to get into like conversation with your parents, trying to get into details, whether it's sex or your career or your path, right? That can, sometimes like they're not like tribute to that. Like they'll tell you, oh, everybody, this is the way of doing it, right? So right, they'll say, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do. But in terms of like me saying that we don't need therapy, I'm just saying we have a system, right, that already worked for us. Because I know plenty of African and Guineans that I've talked to, that I've known personally. We all went through our situation, our problem. We didn't go to therapy, but we went through it and fixed it.
But
right?
look, you know how Antoine just said like
I'm not
you go
paying
through
money
trials
to sit
and
with
tribulations for you to like fix yourself. This can be another way. Like it's like the way like he looking at me. I don't think that's necessarily it. It's like, cause for me, like being vulnerable in front of somebody, letting stuff off your chest. That could be you dealing with that trials and tribulation. That could,
no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
So I think it's like it's just taboo when you say, "Oh, you're going to therapy to go speak to somebody."
I'm not paying to go sit down with somebody.
I'm not paying.
I'm not doing that. That's what I'm saying.
No. There's insurance. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. There's insurance. There's companies and there's programs now that allow it to happen. A lot of jobs happen, and then also I feel like. I feel like it's good to be in a space where like what you said, the word taboo.
Yeah.
How many years have black people and black communities, like kind of how she started, it's been so taboo when people want to focus on their mental health. Yep. And I think the reason it's so taboo is because things like this continue to be reinforced. If someone wants to go and talk to someone or, someone that can help navigate them self-reflect on themselves, because let's be real, talking to your friends and talking to different people, unless you are surrounded by friends that are like an enlightening group of people that self-reflect themselves, a lot of people tend to be so focused on this physical world, they don't even self-reflect on themselves. So how are you going to talk to someone about like that you think is going to help you navigate in your self-reflection when, and you don't even know how to do that? You're not in a space that where you may not be in a space that like you read books or you listen to podcasts or you have access to certain information that can get you there to that next level. If you don't have that exposure, your friends don't have that exposure, and the only way for you to be able to navigate through that is to seek a person that has studied that exposure and that can walk you and guide you through that. Then that should be like promoted. You know.
And the same thing that, like, for example, what I just said earlier, like back home, like Maninkamuris, like us, like, man, you can't cry. That's taboo. Like, it's like Nitano. It's like we feel the same way you guys feel. So why can't we cry?
It's not saying
you
that we
can't be sad, bro. But that's what it is.
No, it's
not
not
the same
that.
thing as this, bro.
No, it's not that.
So what is it then?
They're not saying you can't cry.
You can't see.
No, that's not. The thing is, right? I'm not about to be like, okay, so let's say somebody passed away, right? You're the man of the house, right? Like everybody's crying, and you're supposed to uphold everything, right? You're supposed to be the man of the house, right? The face of the house. That don't mean like you can't cry. They just say, man, in front of everybody, right? That you're supposed to be the one that's holding everything down. This going through this. You're the man. Listen, we have to understand something. That's why in the beginning I said you have to be stoic. You can't be frail. That don't mean you don't have emotion that you can tap into. You know, whether you're self-reflecting by yourself, dealing with yourself, you can cry by yourself. There's friends that you can go to, you can cry to. It happen all the time.
But
that's not what I'm saying. The meaning of it doesn't mean you cannot kasi. You gotta clarify that.
I'm telling you that if you ask somebody and like, bro, that would be it. No. Like Kelly D, like you a man, men do not cry. No. They have no other meaning behind it.
That is.
I promise you. If you come in here, like open your minds up to different things. You have different definitions of it, but that's what they say. Like
you can't say. You might not see them cry more. You didn't see them cry.
Yeah, but I'm not saying
they don't cry though. I think I'm killing your koro.
Bro, I'm not saying people don't cry. They cry.
Okay.
But that's what it says. Like that's what they think.
Okay. So
like,
go ahead.
I think like what Mo is saying, like essentially people would say men don't cry, right? And that's even in the U.S. They'll tell you men don't cry. Like, you don't do that. I think what Dowda's saying is that even though they're saying that, there's meaning behind that. There's a deeper meaning behind that. But the thing about what Mo's saying, that we may understand the meaning of it, but a lot of people don't understand that. And I can tell you, it's not just Africa. It's even here. There's a lot of guys that feel like you a B if you don't cry. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, or like, why would I talk to this person? They're gonna use it against me, right? And and that happens. But again, like, you're still human. Even if you're a leader needs somebody to talk to, no matter what.
Your wife,
you know what I mean?
Your mom.
I mean, it might not be always your wife.
No, I'm saying, like,
your mom can be crazy.
I'm saying, because even like good leaders, when you see good and great leaders, a lot of time the foundation is where your wife, right? So what I'm saying, right? When they say, if I'm like, we're humans, but we all play a role. Right, so when they say like, don't cry in front of people, you can't do that. You're making it people weak, right? You can't do that. You the man. Let the woman cry. Maybe even your son. You gotta be your son. You gotta be a man. You can't cry, right? But when you have a one-on-one conversation with him, you explain to him like how you deal with your emotion, how crying in front of people also can go against you. I'm not saying you can't cry. Like, we have we're masculine, right? But we can also tap into our femininity, right? So there's that too. So like, you hear a kind of sandai for, right? They will tell you something that have another meaning, right? We known for that. So if you sit and say like, that's what it is, don't cry, just know you didn't know the meaning of it. I did. Because I know when they say, hey, they don't mean you can't cry. When you're emotional, you cry. I cried on my mother's lap in front of everybody at my wedding. You know what I mean? Like, but you know what I'm saying? That's my mother. Nobody can judge me. That's my mother. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? But if I have a family, something go wrong, I'm the one that's supposed to hold everything down, right? Then once everything, if I need to cry, I go to my wife, or I go to, I can do things like that. Image is very, very important, especially when you do it in front of kids. That's why I feel quick and I can, because the way a man think and the way a woman think is not the same. You can't just come and just imagine you crying in front of your son every time something go wrong. Like, man, your son gonna be crying every time something go wrong. You can't do that.
I think you guys are both like. I think he understands that you can cry. Yeah. I think he just says that a lot of people, the way that they take it, and a lot of people, the way that they instruct it, they don't instruct it the right way. In that, like, hey, in front of the population, be strong for other people so that other people can gain strength.
Because the reason why
you know,
I said
take
right?
strength from other, like share your strength with other people. But he's what he's saying is there are a lot of people who don't preach it correctly in that way.
Or explain it.
They make it
take
so
the information.
they make it taboo.
Yeah, because
they don't.
Because I asked when I was younger, when I can't think of I said Kelly. That's the explanation.
And mind you, that person who told him that is probably someone who what he learned and he didn't understand. Yeah. And so now instead of him saying, yo, this is how you can actually deal with your emotion, but here's the way to be strong in front of other people to give them resilience. Instead of saying that, he tells them suppress what you feel.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of miscommunication.
And this is the reason why I say image matters so much, right? Like Mo is saying, no, man can cry. And I didn't, if somebody cried, like Mo gonna be like, he's a bitch.
Facts.
Image matters. So why would so if I know, and then you can't control, the way I see you, that's the way I see you. People are gonna be like, why are you making fun of when he cried? Yo, so you want me to, naturally, I find it, you to be soft when I see you cry. Naturally, I see a man to be soft. When a woman cry, you more like, yo, it's gonna be okay. When a kid cry, it's gonna be okay. Even when kids, like, when it come to kids, when your daughter cry, oh, it's gonna be okay. When a man cry, when your son cry, they're gonna be like, yo, get up. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo. Because you're trying to build strong men. You're not trying to build like somebody that's always gonna cry and be whimpering and whining about stuff. But that don't say, yo, son, don't be emotional, don't be heartless. No. You know, you can sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with your son. Like, yeah, it's okay to cry sometimes, but just know, protect your image, because image is everything. What happened inside, that's your personal space. So when you say don't cry, like, bro, a woman would disrespect you if she see you cry all the time. And you're like, oh, I love a man that cry. Cat. If you cry all the time, they'll disrespect you. Your friends, your peers will make fun of you if you're crying in front of them. That's why you go to the person that you trust the most, whether that's your brother, whether that's your best friend, whether that's your wife, whether that's your mother, somebody you trust the most, right? That you're comfortable with. That's how it happened. I open up, like when people see me like, yo, you ain't got no, I open up to them so all the time. I don't open up to you plenty of time. Ansu plenty of time. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's my personal space. If we in public, it's a lot of people here, whatever the case may be, I'm not about to show that we have a weak like family or a weak surrounding. No, but we know when we go to that personal space, we work on things, right? You cry, then get back up. You know what I'm saying? Fix yourself. That's what I'm saying. You're right. Well, I should say people might not be taking that or digesting that information the way they're supposed to, right? And then it's the surface level. You gotta see. That's what I mean. Like a lot of time, there's meaning behind it.
And then, okay, so what about the part where I said like, why the whole taboo aspect of it, because like you kind of reacted to it but didn't get into like then what your thought about it, which is the therapy thing of like people continuously like making it taboo, especially in the Black community, when you may not have friends or family or people close to you that you know that are enlightened, that do their own self-reflection, and that you're able to kind of talk to navigate through that. And so because of that, sometimes people have to go seek like professional help to help have these conversations, almost like if you're complaining or if you're venting and talking about your personal experience or your trauma to someone who is problematic themselves, right? Like that is a person that makes you feel guilty. That is a person that like, it's almost like a negative impact for you to be talking to them. So then like, why even speak to them, right? In that case, if you don't have that support system, you have to, it's important, I think, and to push people, or not push people, but make it less taboo. People feel comfortable to seek help and talk to others.
Me is more of a personal thing. If you need to, anybody want to say something before I go?
Go ahead.
If you need to, like me, I won't pay to go to therapy. But if you need to pay to go to therapy, because some people have nobody to rely on, some people have nobody to talk to, then go ahead and do it. It's there for that reason.
I wouldn't pay neither.
Right? I'm saying like it's needed for a reason. It's needed for a reason, right? Our culture is, is kind of different from the Western culture, right? And we are like community based. We're like this. I'm not saying we're perfect. We have a lot of flaws. We don't talk about that, right? I'm just saying the way we were brought up and raised, there's pros and cons. In this situation, I don't feel like I feel like my surroundings is good enough.
Yeah.
I don't need to pay money to go do
You
that.
know, when they tell you the way we are raised, like la famille kuma for Mogragne.
Yeah.
Don't bring, like, you know what I'm saying?
Your
Like,
business to other people.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I think that's like more of culture. Because like in our culture, like most of like the kings, like the guys, their downfall was their woman, because they tell their woman their business, and they gonna tell gonna tell the enemy.
Or it can be their friends. Sometimes their brother,
somebody that they trust the most.
Yeah.
They will always say like,
Yeah.
keep the family business in the family.
in the family.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, that's true. So
Yeah.
that's what I feel about it with the therapy
So,
stuff.
do you want to do veiled session?
Yeah, we can get into the veiled unveil session.
Explain what that is.
Okay, so basically we're gonna give you guys, we're gonna do names, and then we're gonna give you like ideas. or
Name,
whatever.
topic, anything. So
Yeah.
he'll say a word,
Yeah.
or a sentence or
So
something.
you would say veiled, unveiled. If you feel like it's that situation is a good situation,
And
if
it's
it makes sense,
enlightened.
and if it's enlightening, you say unveiled. But if it's not, you be like veiled. Like, for example, like my disposition on like the therapy, whatever, not needing it, you can be like, well, that idea or just that mindset is veiled or unveiled.
Yeah.
So we could just do it like that. You know, I should keep looking at me. I don't know why, because I know I should keep looking at me. I don't know why, man. Man, her legs is the whole time. But nah, come on, let's get into it. First, we want to do the.
No, let's go into.
And then after that, we're gonna create the unveil law. Every episode, we come up with one based on the topic.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna start with Aisha first. Therapy in Guinea. No therapy in Guinea. Veiled or unveiled?
Veiled.
No therapy in Guinea. Veiled or unveiled?
veiled. Veiled.
Okay. The social construct of Guineans in America. Veiled or unveiled?
Unveiled.
What do you mean by that?
Like the way we
Socially?
like the way we are here in
Currently?
Currently, yeah. The current state of like Guineans, the Guinean community in America.
Okay.
Like how we deal with kids, parenting, or like just in general, friends, neighbors, the gossips, the
Unveiled.
school. What'd you
Unveiled.
say? Unveiled?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna pick some names. Y'all ready? Cat Williams.
Did you watch the?
Unveiled.
You watched the episode.
I
right?
sure did.
That nigga was lying, bro.
I don't know, man.
That nigga was
I
lying.
don't know.
bro.
I feel like this guy has been through so much
Bro.
in this industry, and a lot of people have come out and said he ain't lying.
Yeah, it's
Bro,
been.
he was lying.
I agree,
A
bro.
lot of
Receipts
people-
make
He was
them.
there's so
lying
many
a lot.
receipts.
Look, when he said he read 3,000 books a year, bro.
He's exaggerating.
That's
You know
a
what I'm
lot, bro. Exaggeration's a lot.
But that doesn't
No,
mean
no,
his
but
story
If
is
he say
not
like,
true.
oh, I seen a giant, like, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
And
lots
how
of
you
them-
seen
you know
like,
how you say-
that's a lie.
You know how you say she was. I can't even do
No,
it.
It's like saying
That's a
it's
lie,
like me
'cause
saying
it's
I'm
not
6
the-
feet,
bro.
or Ibrahim
Yeah,
saying he's from
obviously,
Senegal.
yeah.
That nigga was lying, bro.
So what
So
you
what's
said?
your answer? Veiled or unveiled?
He said
Unveiled.
veiled. I
No,
thought you said
I
veiled.
No, I'm veiled. It's fine. There was a lot of
Unveiled.
truth to what you were saying, bro.
Yeah, because it's too many
Partially.
receipts.
Okay. Jonathan Mayer.
Jonathan Veiled.
Yeah.
Veiled.
Veiled, man.
Veiled?
There's a
Okay.
lot.
All right. To add on that, okay, Megan Good, because she's with Jonathan Mayer. Veiled, unveiled.
I think I'm veiled because she's there for the support. Like, she's like,
There
supporting
for
the
him.
black
A,
man.
a good, strong black woman, right,
Well,
Aisha?
Some black woman, I'm veiled.
Veiled.
Why?
Oh my. Yeah, why?
Where did you come out of?
They've been in a relationship, no?
Since when?
Yeah.
Since
Since the whole situation went down? Out of nowhere, you just in a relationship?
wait,
So you guys were never spotted together until all of
Okay,
this
maybe they
happened.
were just talking.
And
So
then,
what are you saying?
And now
He
you're
was cheating.
Coretta Scott?
Because I'm not gonna lie, he
Now
wasn't
you're
in
what?
the limelight
Coretta?
like that.
Because Coretta, that's great. That's
hold on.
Who's it? Was it Coretta Scott?
I'm
Coretta
confused.
Scott.
Who is
Yeah.
that?
Martin Luther King's
His
wife.
wife. Hold on. Okay, so what are you saying?
Yo, that's crazy. Yo,
What?
I'm glad you brought that up, right? Okay, look, MLK wife was Coretta Scott.
Yeah.
MLK was sleeping with a lot of white women, cheating on Coretta Scott, right? So Jonathan Mayer
Yeah, I get this. man.
wanted Jonathan Mayer wanted his ex-girlfriend, whatever,
She was
to
white.
be Coretta Scott. So to be accepting of his wrongdoing by cheating on her, but in this time the wife is white, Coretta Scott was black, so he probably was cheating with Megan Good the whole time,
with the white
and
woman?
expecting his ex white girlfriend to be Coretta Scott, because Coretta Scott didn't say nothing when MMK
all
was
of
cheating.
these rumors.
MMK was cheating. Yo, I just unveiled it. I just unveiled the truth. I should think about it though.
Because what was the last one you said?
I just unveiled it.
I get what you're saying.
So look,
but here's what she's saying is him and Megan Good were never even ever together because there's no photos of them together. That's what she's saying.
Keep in mind, this girl just went through a wild divorce too. Like,
oh, Megan?
Yeah,
like, she recently, like,
and it's like out of nowhere. We've seen so much of her in the past. She's never been in drama.
Facts.
So why would she just go in, of all things, of all places, to put herself in this in this highlight? And it's like you don't like. She was never there until court started.
So what is the answer? What are you guys saying?
I said veiled.
No. What do you guys say? Like, is the why? Why is she there?
You think she was always there?
I think it's an idea for the black community to say this is a good woman that we all know, and she's always had a good past. And if you guys see him with that good guy,
you're gonna be like, okay.
You get what I'm saying? Good black women.
Maybe it's marketing.
And everybody hates him because he's been dating Caucasian women.
Good grace.
And you know the thing about
with the black
community is like, oh, we not on his side because he should have never dated a Caucasian woman at all.
So
now if I'm dating a black woman, you might be on my side.
Yeah.
You might support me.
So you're saying that he hired her?
I don't know what to call it, but I feel like it's all. I feel like it's.
But look, me, what I'm thinking, right?
Support.
Actually, I think. Nah, come on, like
you said veiled.
I think it's a good, strong black woman just trying to help her brother out. That she's in love.
Or I think that they're in a relationship.
Or I think they're together.
Why is she looking at me like that?
Or Megan Good is no longer Megan Good, and Jonathan Mayer is Jonathan Major. Stop playing. But look, I'm glad. But look, did you guys get the concept though?
No, I don't. That part,
not that one. Not that one.
Coretta Scott part, I got that, but that
you
one.
got. Look. You still
got
veiled.
I got it. No, I get what you're saying.
Based on what I just explained, the way Numso reacted, veiled or unveiled.
I get what you're saying.
Huh?
She's unveiled.
Thank you. I will never be veiled.
She's unveiled.
She's veiled. She don't know what I'm talking about. The Coretta Scott.
I do.
Okay, explain it to me.
I don't.
Okay,
it's reverse psychology.
You're saying that. Exactly, you're saying that he was married to a black woman, and then he was cheating with Caucasian women, and then in this case it's the inverse.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah.
So what did I miss?
So you veiled.
What did I miss?
So why did he call it? You veiled.
What did I miss?
You veiled.
What did I miss?
You missed the whole point.
What's the point?
The whole point is what you just said.
It's a system.
So I didn't miss anything.
It's a system.
Nah. So
looking.
This gonna be a little crazy. Diddy, Poof Daddy, Diddy.
Veiled.
I ain't gonna lie, he fugazi.
What you think?
Veiled. All
and
the
he's
way.
from New York. Come out of crib. Did he take a picture before?
You took a picture? Yo, come on and create a camera. Veiled or unveiled?
Unveiled.
Okay. Come on and crack it though.
So let's create the unveiling law now around therapy.
Yeah. So
what?
Therapy and spirituality.
Yep.
So you want to give them the first?
I'll give you guys an example. So
at the end,
here's one, which was it's important to move forward yet understand your past to fulfill the journey. Mm-hmm. Another one was understand your belief, tap into bettering yourself. Another one which was the most recent one, appreciate life for what it is and be humble and grateful during difficulties. What do you guys think the unveiled law should be for this episode based on the topics that we discussed? So we discussed therapy, enlightenment.
We talk about culture. We talk about spirituality.
I think I want to say something along the line of like encouraging things or encouraging like mental health growth, even if you may not understand it.
Encourage, encourage mental health?
Encourage mental health, for the betterment of mental, even if you don't understand.
So maybe encourage mental health for the betterment of yourself, to gain privilege of peace.
Yeah, like can we make it more general, like the mental health part, like make it more because.
Yeah.
Because he also mentioned spirituality, but let's make it general, but around that.
I think, like mental health, I think to me is general, and you can achieve mental health through therapy, spirituality, prayer,
because all of that is a piece of
it's like the mental, the health of your mind, of your mentality, of your, you know, whether it's like
you can
so maybe saying finding peace in or finding peace in your mental space.
Oh, okay. What about
start with that?
Encourage the efforts, or encourage people to find peace in their mental space.
I like that.
That's good.
Find peace in their mental state, and that encouragement comes in if someone believes that prayer is what gets them to be peaceful and to get rid of stress and anxiety. Encourage them to do what they need to do to achieve the best mental health space. If it's going to therapy, encourage them to go to therapy to reach the best mental space. Whatever aspect of like method that they need, encourage people to find peace in their mental space.
There's multiple ways to go by it, but
all right, so that's the Unveiled Law, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are so happy that you guys were able to join us today. We've had an amazing discussion, and I think this is great.
I would like to thank both of my sisters and my brothers for coming today. My boy Aisha, she came through. And my girl, Moke. Hey! So at the end of the day, this was a great show. These are one of my closest friends, bro. You know, partner, my boy right here, man. He's a pops now. Aisha, you know, she's always the safety net. Everybody go to Aisha, I guess. Not me though. But so we gonna kind of wrap it up. This was a great show. Another epic episode on Unveiled Mindset.
Make sure you guys subscribe down below and make sure you turn on the notification bell, and we will see you next time.
This was fire.
Bye.
I'm not accepting no comment.
Unveiled Mindset.